She got into the car with a heavy heart, unaware that that simple walk around the block would change her life forever. Never in her entire history of conquests and empires did Marina Souza imagine she would find two barefoot little children, hugging their knees. Hidden in the back seat of her luxury sedan, the horn honked as she stopped at a traffic light, and the reflection in the tinted glass revealed the glint of two curious little eyes staring out at the crowd as she unlocked the doors. The scent of expensive perfume clashed with the smell of damp earth and worn clothes. "Please, can you help us?" whispered the girl with tight braids as she stretched out of the car. Marina's world froze. There, in front of their tailored suits, were twins, no more than 7 years old, covered in dust and fear. For a moment, she forgot the reports awaiting her signature, the private jet at the ready, the meetings that would define the future of her fortune. All that mattered was that tightness in her chest, the courage shining in that little girl's little brown eyes. Instinctively, Marina unbuckled her seatbelt and reached out to guide the children into the front seat. With every inch, Marina moved the seat back. The girl's voice trembled. "We only have 2 coins, but we can pay the fare." The simple proposal cut through the silence. How could she offer money to someone who had no value other than their own dignity? Marina swallowed hard, felt a lump rise in her throat, and simply said, "Please come in." The twins, a little boy and a little girl, exchanged a relieved look and settled themselves side by side, their little hands trembling for reassurance. When Marina started the engine, the first question escaped her lips. "Why were you there, hiding?" The girl took a deep breath and explained that they had fled a makeshift shelter where they were just 2 anonymous faces among dozens of children. "They were going to separate us," her brother murmured, his voice breaking. "They said twins grow old together." Marina felt a chill run down her spine. She knew the cold statistics, but nothing had prepared her for this revelation. The traffic light changed and the car moved forward, but the road had become a corridor of memories that Marina had tried to bury since she was a child. As they crossed the first corners, the miraculous businesswoman listened to the twins' sweet story. "Mummy died when we were born. Daddy was so sad he didn't want to take care of us anymore." Marina pulled up the seat and approached the children. "Tell me your name." "I'm Aina, and this is Luca," the girl replied. "Can we trust you?" Marina's nails dug into the fabric of the seat. Who was this woman who had everything and yet felt so powerless? On the way, Marina's firm voice echoed, "I promise no one will separate you. But I need to understand how we got here." Anna described the hard life in the community where she grew up. Unpaved streets, ramshackle houses, teachers who traded lessons for work. Luca added that they had learned to care for each other because adults were constantly chasing bills. It sounded so familiar to Marina, who had grown up an orphan and seen childhood. Friends disappear into the darkness of the alleys. The car glided along illuminated avenues, and the contrast between luxury and poverty hammered at the billionaire's heart. She said nothing when they reached her penthouse, suspended above the clouds. In the entrance hall, the children stepped onto the luxurious carpet and looked around, both enchanted and frightened. Marina led them to the panoramic balcony. The entire city stretched out beneath their feet. Anna whispered, "I've never asked for anything so big, but now I have hope." Marina took a deep breath and spoke with a distant look in her eyes. "You'll be safe here. I'll find a way to help." The silence stretched on, interrupted only by the rustling of the bamboo mandala leaves in the night breeze. Determined, Marina settled the twins into a spacious room, painted in soft tones, with new toys on the bed. As she closed the door, she felt tears well up. It wasn't just compassion, it was identification with those little survivors. The next morning, she gathered her team of personal assistants and announced, without hesitation, "We're going to transform our NGO into a permanent refuge for them and many other children." The professional faces furrowed in astonishment. "But, ma'am, that's not in the business plan." Marina raised her voice for the first time in years. "Business plans don't save lives. I want solutions." Anna and Luca watched everything through the half-open door, holding hands, scared and hopeful, as the team wrote down every detail. Marina remembered her adoptive mother, a humble teacher who rescued her from the world. It was the same flame that now lit her heart, to repay the gift of being saved. In the following weeks, Anna and Luca underwent medical examinations, received new clothes, and the idea of studying at a private school wasn't important. But what mattered wasn't the uniforms, but the sparkle in the eyes of those who were dreaming again. One day, while Marina was helping them with their homework, Anna whispered, "Auntie, I feel at home." These were simple words, but they echoed the healing of a heart once hardened by success. And, on the rooftop balcony, under the starry sky, Marina realized those two lives were, in fact, the true legacy she had so long sought. The first rays of sunlight filtered through the curtains as Marina prepared breakfast for Anna and Luca, thinking of every detail that would ensure their safety. The morning routine became a ritual of care: fresh-baked whole wheat bread, fruit juice, and shy smiles that grew in confidence with each spoonful. Meanwhile, in the corporate office, the billionaire reviewed adoption contracts and school agreements, calculating budgets as if constructing an equation of affection. At lunch, the twins tried a colorful salad for the first time, and Marina was surprised to hear Anna talk about the importance of tasting colors, not just flavors. That afternoon, a meeting with her social impact team determined the expansion of the foster program. Not just 2, but dozens of children would have a home. Luca, curious, watched the presentation from afar in a meeting room, observing the critical looks of executives who didn't know the meaning of a hug. Marina stopped the presentation to show a photo of Anna and Luca. "This isn't a project, it's a life mission." The smiles were shy, but the entire room felt the strength of a leader who cultivated not only profit, but hope. On the way home, Marina asked Luca about his dreams. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" He thought and said, "I want to be a teacher, auntie, someone who teaches us how to live." The answer echoed in Marina's mind. Teaching was the most genuine way to continue saving lives. In the days that followed, she organized tutoring sessions in a redesigned playroom with a chalkboard and colored chalk. Anna and Luca rose anxiously each morning, choosing their pencils like flags of reinvention. During one of these classes, Marina came in to correct Anna's essay about the day my aunt saved me. The text broke her heart. Auntie Anna wrote, "You taught me that home is where love chooses to live." That night, Marina reread every word and allowed herself to cry with gratitude. Meanwhile, the media announced that the NGO, Sousa and Sia had received awards for social innovation, something she had always considered secondary. Between interviews, Marina cited the example of Anna and Luca, showing the faces of powerful people who had benefited from the seeds planted in the periphery. The twins saw their names in the newspapers and beamed with pride, as if they were the work of a superhero. One day, Luca asked if they could visit the old shelter to help other children, and Marina realized it. was time to transform her fear of those places into a reinforcement of affection. She organized a caravan of volunteers, psychologists, and community healers to bring assistance to the shelter. Upon arrival, Anna and Luca remembered the strong smell of cement and cold walls. But now they arrived with baskets of toys and hugs at the ready. The children at the shelter, suspicious at first, gradually gave in to the invitation to draw and recite short poems. And in the middle of the grey room, Marina saw something far more powerful than diplomas. The rebirth of dormant dreams. As they left, the moist eyes of a younger girl told her, "I want to be like you, Auntie." Marina squeezed her hand and understood that true philanthropy doesn't create distances, but rather connections of destiny. Back at the penthouse, the twins slept exhausted, lulled by the feeling that the world could be good in the early hours of the morning. Marina stayed awake, planning territorial maps to extend the initiative to neighboring communities. She envisioned, one day, every favela will have a shelter that we will name Casa da Estrella. At dawn, she shared the vision with the team, who embraced the plan as a sacred cause. Meanwhile, Anna studied geography on the balcony, drawing colorful routes and asking about mountains she hadn't yet seen. Luca, inspired by stories of sailing, dreamed of piloting an emergency van, bringing help wherever it was needed. Marina smiled, remembering when her own father had taught her to dream big, and now it was her turn to teach. A secretary entered to announce a shareholders' meeting. Marina took a deep breath, reminding herself that the business world needed to align with its purpose. She began the session with Anna and Luca appearing via video conference, briefly explaining how they had transformed lives. Conservative faces softened, and many hands were raised in unwavering support as they left the building.